Touchdown, West Philly.
A chance for the Chargers, and they score!
In the front, Fuzzy again.
The Village Commons of the revived Village Commons. Oh, it's beautiful out here. We're right off of Route 3 in beautiful Ashaway, Rhode Island. It's so nice. It's amazing. And we're here also to promote the coffee. What's it called? Coffee truck?
Yeah, Revive Coffee. It's the Volkswagen red van that you drive by when you're getting off 95 going back into Westerly.
No kidding.
You
can't miss it.
Miss it.
Yeah,
you know,
beautiful.
I mean, there's only one way into Westerly. You get off 95 and
listen. I got a cup of coffee. It's one of the best cup of coffees I've ever had. I got to say that it's fantastic. So I got it in my hand. The people out there can see it. Come on down. We're right next to where the old Brick Alley pub was, right next door. You pull in, say hello to Lisa and Brent and family, and of course Grandpa is here, Nanuts, Johnny Fazzaro with his buddies Zeke Arnold and Jeff, can't remember Jeff's last name now. Jeff Collins, my buddy Jeff Collins, and they're everybody's gathering here, so it's a lot of fun. Brent, I'm glad you invited us out here. I think this is going to be a big success for you. But anyway, I wanted just to touch base on your basketball team. I wanted to get you on, and we never really did do a rundown of what transpired and who you got coming back, with that kind of thing. You're still in the same league, and my associate Ronnie Spazzato is here as well. He's coming into the picture just as we speak. You get a coffee. Go grab a coffee down there.
It's right over there.
Grab a coffee. One of the best cups of coffee you'll ever have, right here. Brent, tell me a little bit about what transpired and what you got, who you got coming back, and who's coming up. Did the eighth grade team do well this year?
Yeah. So, well, first of all, I don't think I can get a better endorsement than you with holding up the cup of coffee and saying what you're saying. So I appreciate that. I mean, last season for basketball, we talked a minute off air and you know, kind of talking about the baseball situation. It's D1. It's very, very tough.
And basketball too.
I felt we battled every night. You know,
a lot of times you were in the games. I went to at least half of the game.
Yeah, and to be honest, there was a few games like that I came away frustrated. I always look back and say, oh, you know, what could we have done? What could I have done differently? A couple games I thought we left on the table, but they were against good teams. You know, we had a tough game against Lincoln, tough game at Tolman, which is one that wasn't broadcasted or on NFHS, but it was one of those games where I thought we could have won. So, you know, wish we could have some of those back. But at the end of the day, D1 playoffs, we played as well as we could have played against Barrington. Ended up losing by, I think, 6.
That was in the playoffs?
In the playoffs. And you know, again, there's so much you get out of a season. It's so difficult to win D1. You know, and we did well. And we had some great contributions from our seniors and some of our younger players. And I love it. I love the process of it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I am looking forward to summer because we do summer ball. I love it because we get it's like we play a whole summer season in Narragansett. To me, it's like just fun. Like, we get to go play basketball. We work out 3 days a week, two team workouts, and then I bring guys in for one-on-ones.
No kidding.
Yeah. And it's just the process of it, you know, like, and again, like, you know, you get so much out of becoming a basketball player. I think you learn so many different skill sets by going to practice and being diligent and just being on a team and So, we have basketball camp. That's the last week of June. So I'm just excited.
So you running the camp this year too?
Yeah, we run the camp, and that's a lot of fun because I always did it when I was the assistant with Coach Mike Gleason. All of those young kids that were little would come to camp. They're all the players that play for us now. So, I see that in the guys now. Like, I look at the little guys, and I see, like, a Kevin Wall, and I see Cash Arnold, and I see, like, all these younger guys. And now some of them are making that middle school team. And there's a bunch of kids on the middle school basketball team
that's what I'm interested
really
in.
Well.
See who you got coming up. You mentioned Kevin Wall. It's his son, right?
Yeah.
And
little Kev.
Little Kev. I see him.
Little Ange Luzzy. You got all these little guys that come to our games, and I get to see them at camp. So it's a lot of fun. And I am excited to see how these guys turn out.
Listen, I got to get my guy over there he's got to get his coffee because I need him over here.
Listen,
no.
I'll hold his seat, and then when he gets here,
I'm just teasing you.
Yeah, I'll move on because
I want to just reiterate that Revive Coffee, Route 3, Ashaway, Rhode Island, next to the Brick Alley Pub. This is the best cup of coffee I've had in a long time.
Brick Alley Pub. We're not in Newport. We're
Brick whatever it is.
Yeah. It's
an Ashaway.
That's going to be open soon too. They're going to have a new concept over there too, which I'm excited about.
That'll be good.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what they're going to do.
And you got the little red truck here. It's unbelievable, unreal. So who you got? So you mentioned a couple guys coming up from middle school, and who you got coming back?
Coming back. Varsity guys returning. Caleb Williams, Braden Antoch. Those are two guys that will be returning. And Braden was all division, third team, Division I guy. Caleb, I think Caleb for the last 2 years as a sophomore.
Most improved.
Didn't play a whole lot at the very beginning of the season, and then once I started giving him more minutes, I started seeing us be more successful. So he just brings a different presence. He brings a level of toughness, rebounding. I really think.
Hey, 6'5".
Yeah,
6'4",
and he's just a good athlete. He's got a nose for the ball. His whole family with Lance,
Lance,
they got a younger brother who they just have a nose for the ball. The great thing about Caleb is I know that he will accept the challenge of guarding not only the biggest guy on the other team. He wants the challenge of guarding the best guy on the other team, and I feel like I'm going to use his versatility a little bit this year. We're going to test him out in the summertime, put him on some smaller guys, and see if he can stay with them. And I think he can, but he does a good job for us. Braden Antoch, very smart basketball player, great basketball IQ, really good shooter. Another name I think you're going to hear, Faris Nader. Just a kid who kind of came out of nowhere. I feel like he's been proving people wrong. He's one of those guys that, when we bring kids up along and we're developing, and I remember having him as a freshman player, and he's one of those guys I kind of look at him after the season.
Say that name again?
Faris Nader.
Faris Nader.
Yeah, he played as a 10th grader, played mainly varsity, but I remember saying to him, as a freshman, I probably screwed up, probably should have put you on the JV team and not had you play freshman, but he's one of those guys that really wants it bad, wants to get better. And then we got some young JV guys and young guys from the middle school. I think that can help, and it's going to be a big, take a look at summer and take a look at how the year goes and see how these guys can help us and how everybody fills out.
Boy, I'll tell you, Brent, it's going to be an exciting year. I can feel it in my bones from a basketball perception. It looks like and don't forget you've got the holiday tournament. You've got you're in D1. You play a good non-league schedule. You're playing basketball in the summer. I mean, this is it doesn't get much better than this. And you're a guy that that the kids look up to, and the fans really enjoy having you as a coach. And boy, I'll tell you, this is really going to be a good year, I think. I mean, you're in a tough division. Let's face it, you're in Division One.
Yep.
I mean,
but
as Jimmy Cap, my good friend Jim Capizano says, hey, when we won all those state championships, we had to beat all the Division One teams in order to win them. So that's you got to.
You know what? It is what it is. We play our schedule. I mean, 2 years as head coach, our 2 senior nights were against undefeated teams. Year 1 was against Classical. They went on to win a state championship, undefeated. Year 2 was versus LaSalle. They went on to win a state championship, undefeated in Rhode Island. And it's just what it is. And you know, to play the Wilsons and to play the Simpsons of Rhode Island, you just like that challenge.
You talk about the Wilson kid from South Kingston?
Yeah.
I mean, that family's got must have a string of players, because I remember Ronnie may have even played against him in the Super Bowl football. The Wilson kid, the older one that I'm talking about.
Mike Wilson.
Mike Wilson. Come on in, Ron.
Yeah, he was my age.
Have a seat, my man.
Hello.
I think the mic will pick you up if you're in the middle. I'll give it to you after you go on break or whatever. But no, we were talking about Division One, and I said it. I go, when I said to come on before you got here, I'm like, I could talk a little bit about basketball. I go, but I know you guys are like right in the thick of it.
Yeah, we got practice this morning. We're one of the only ones playing tomorrow.
Excuse me. Is he okay with the sound? Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of games today.
Yeah, I know. I saw it.
We're practicing a little bit, 9:30 after this. But we play tomorrow home. Smithfield at 1.
Oh, you're going to do it? It's at 1 now.
Yeah, we're the 8-9 seed. We got the that win over Stonington kind of propelled us to 8th there. So Smithfield had lost to Lincoln, which knocked them down to 9. You should see the standings, though. You know how Bobby Roderick, the East Providence coach, came down yesterday?
Last week,
They lost out on the 5th seed by 1,000th of a point.
The 5th seed?
They're 5.643, and North Kingston is 5.644.
At least you had to suffer through it for football, but at least they worked out the kinks.
Like, I knew it was coming, but the thing that is really tough is, so because it's so late in the year, there was some rain. I know Jamie was talking to somebody from the league yesterday, because if you have your minimum amount of games, there was teams that were just kind of canceling and not making their games up, which affect the PowerPoint system. So,
oh boy,
there was 2 cancellations, like Portsmouth and Barrington got rained out on Thursday. Portsmouth had their senior prom yesterday, so they just canceled their game completely.
And it didn't hurt them?
Not those 2 teams, because the seeding's already set. But there was another game that got canceled, and because Hendricken beat Pilgrim yesterday, that 1,000th of a point change to put East Providence in 6th instead of 5th. They were virtually tied. East Providence would have had the tiebreaker over North Kingston because they beat them head-to-head. But because Hendricken beat Pilgrim yesterday, that made East Providence drop a spot. So by not playing at all, they got dropped, even though they beat North Kingston head-to-head.
Yeah.
So that's the one spot where I can see, because a lot of coaches do not like the RPI system. I don't mind it. I kind of like it. But this part right here is probably what will make people not like it, because without it, the head-to-head team did not, get the higher seed, even though they're virtually tied.
Now, you guys, in basketball, you guys do basically a PowerPoint.
It's all the same.
Same exact thing.
So the
same thing.
So the funny thing is, I think Ronnie and Coach Ange had to kind of suffer through playing with the RPI system where it wasn't being added in real time.
Correct. Yeah. I think
right.
Fix that, right?
So now they went to a system where I think it's called Fusion Sports, where
I've seen that.
You can look on the RIIL and see, okay, this is the standings, and it goes by your RPI points. But it gives you a lot of flexibility. So football, for example, I think you're not playing against Jarahoe this year. Am I correct by saying that?
Jarahoe.
If you wanted to continue that game, you could say, okay, hey, we're going to play that, but we're going to make it non-league, and both teams agree to it. When you play at league, you have to be careful of that. If you take on a Division III team and let's say you're a Division I team, you're not getting as many RPI points. And then if you play a team that ends up, I don't know, if they end up being 0-9 or something like that, it kind of hurts your number. So the flexibility is what some coaches like about it. And then, you know, you have some coaches that don't like it at all because they feel like the old school way of, you know, hey, I'm, like you said, you won head to head. But then, you know, like in football, I mean, I thought there was going to be a lawsuit with NK because they didn't get the playoff spot that they thought they should have.
I think there was a
Wow.
Right. So, I mean,
unbelievable.
But it was, like I said, though, they had to suffer through the kind of growing pains of the process because the numbers weren't adding up in real time, and the formula was different on Max Prep. So,
because the out-of-state games, it was a little weird.
So if anybody's listening to this and they're like, "What is Rhode Island doing?" They figured it out. And there are some things that are very infuriating when you watch as a fan, but it is worked its way out now. We have a way of seeing the numbers, and I think, you know, Ronnie's coaching 2 sports. You know, we all talk to different coaches, and if you are strategic on the way you plan your games, you can figure out a way to you know, put yourself in a good position.
Coach Spizzato was pretty sly when it comes to stuff like that.
Especially for the division games are definitely most important, especially if you're in Division II. Division I for baseball and in basketball is a little different because we're in Division I. So if you do play a Division II team, like we played Charahoe, and you know, the average, the RPI goes by your average points per game. That's why you'll see a lot of teams will have like 5 point something or 6 point something. So beating Charahoe actually slightly brought our RPI down. It didn't really hurt us, but it did bring us. Even though we beat them in baseball and football,
played them twice, right?
It brought us down a little more in football because of their Division IV, but in but they do have a lot of wins in Division II. So it was almost like. Pretty much almost like not playing at all. So, but
I got you.
You know, you don't want to just play a bunch of all Division I teams all the time. You know what I mean? You have local teams that you've been playing for a while, like Charahoe.
Yeah, Wesley Charahoe is always a big.
As well. You know, I actually wanted to play a few more Division II games just to, you know. Division I, it's like every game's a battle, and it's hard to get you know, everybody in. So it's good to play Division II teams sometimes and be able to play some of your other guys. And you know, it's a long season. Football and basketball, you play a lot of games, so you try to get as many guys in as possible. And hopefully, you have the opportunity to. Yeah. We actually play a lot of guys this year in baseball. For the, you know, sometimes it's straight 9, but
I noticed that.
We actually, there was a few games we got 14 people in the game. So especially when we're when we get our extra pitching in there. But
baseball is a different animal than basketball and football and lacrosse, and it's a different animal because there's more players, and anything can happen in baseball. I mean, the ball goes down this way, sometimes it goes that way, and then sometimes it goes to the left. But you know, basketball, the better teams usually will win out. In football, most of the time. Baseball, anything can happen. Now, if you do win tomorrow, which you're playing at Similori Field at 1 o'clock, you're playing Smithfield. Yeah. If you do win out, tell us who you're going to be playing on Tuesday.
So then we play Bishop Hendricken on Tuesday, and there'll be 8 teams left. So it'll be two 14 pods, and it'll be us.
Okay, good.
It'll be us, Hendricken, LaSalle, and then the winner between, I think might be the 6 and 11, so it could be East Providence in there. Versus they have to play Moses Brown today. But Moses Brown has that one good pitcher, so you never know what can happen there. He throws about 90. So, and the funny thing is, I think his last name's Haggerty. He actually is from East Providence. So if he went to his public school, he'd be at East Providence. But so they're playing each other today at 1.
So what is it?
It is double elimination. It's not a series yet. So when we play Hendricken, you know, we win that, we stay in the winner's bracket. If we lose, we don't have to beat them twice in a row yet because it's double elimination, not series.
I gotcha.
So we would play like if we lost to Hendricken, we would play like the loser of the 6-11 winner in LaSalle. If we were to win, we'd play the winner of those two.
Gotcha, Ron. So. Gotcha. All right, Brent.
And real quick about the RPI too with baseball, because you know, in baseball you're facing a different pitcher all the time. So depending on who you're facing, you know, with the RPI points, like say Charahoe, when we faced Adam Carpenter, he's a Division I pitcher going to URI. You know, if you beat them, it really is almost like you're beating an equivalent to a Division I team, even though they're Division II.
Right.
But if you played a, you know, for getting Division II points, we earned them. But if you're facing like a weaker pitcher, then so the points with baseball, you're facing a different team almost every time because of the pitcher. Or in football, you know, soccer, basketball, it's really the same starters every single time.
Right.
So you're
Right.
facing the same team every time. Where in baseball,
That's
depending on
it.
who's pitching can change your whole team.
Exactly. I mean, you know, you got to have 3 or 4 good pitches nowadays.
We're lucky enough to have
You know, you can't just rely on good old the number one. Like actually, Charahoe actually won their
really well.
their last state championship in 1966 with basically one pitcher. I mean, they had a guy that could, you know, come out of the bullpen if, you know, but Bruce Boss was the man, and he made first team All State, and they won the whole thing. I think all they had to win was 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, when you have one pitcher without a pitch count, and you know if their arm's not bothering them, you just be able to pitch them all.
Yeah, I remember. You know, I can as old as I am, and I'm sure your father could tell you, Brenton, the same thing. And his father used to come to every game. I mean, you know, Bruce Boss was, you know, he could throw, and he was a guy that, you know, he'd probably throw maybe in the mid 80s, maybe, but he hit all the corners, you know, with the breaking ball, and then he'd come back 2 days later and do it all over again. You know, that's the way it was. And nowadays you can't get away with that. It's impossible.
Yeah,
you can't do that. You know.
Yeah, you go the full 110 pitches. You got to sit. Even though it's not even that much, 3 days rest. You know, our guys with Mike and our pitchers pitch once a week, start once a week, so we give them a good 4 or 5, some 6, even 7 days rest. Chase is on pitch Monday, so he'll have a full 5 days rest, so he should be good to go. And then Mike on Tuesday. Hopefully we win on Sunday, and Mike pitches on Tuesday, and he'll have a whole week.
I can't wait. I haven't seen Chase pitch yet this year. Yeah. I think, but most of his games were. I know.
The first game against Smithfield pitched a great game. He went 7 1/3, 7 2/3, and he pitched shutout through 7 innings. And
was that up there?
No, it was home.
Oh, well, how did I miss? Maybe I did see that.
And then
I did see it.
They scored 2 in the top of the 8th.
Yeah, I was there, and I was like, I don't know. I was going, Ron, do you think you should have bunted them over? And you even mentioned, you were thinking about it. Yeah.
And the worst thing that could happen would have been a double play. And we hit into a double play with Tom Fiore, who was on deck. So that was definitely tough situation there.
No, I'm not second guessing.
No, the thing is, to avoid. When I guess in a bunt he could have popped it up, and bad things should happen then.
That's true.
But yeah, just didn't happen for us that game. And you know, Chase pitched. He only gave up 2 hits. He did have 5 walks. It wasn't even one of his better pitching outings, and he still did a tremendous job.
Yeah.
And had to go into the 8th inning, and then
how's it look for Smithfield tomorrow? Is there a top pitcher going tomorrow, you think?
Probably. I don't think they have one main guy, though. They have a couple guys that are very similar. They're not overpowering pitchers. If you look at the stats, they throw strikes, so they don't walk many. So we're going to have to put the ball in play and kind of generate our own runs, because you're probably not going to see too many walks on their part. So they're kind of like a version of kind of East Providence, just not as good at pitching, but you know, they play some defense. They have enough pitching where they throw strikes and they make you hit the ball. So, you know, you got to hit the ball to beat them.
So tomorrow, 1 o'clock, Cymbalori Field. You win. You played Hendricken on Tuesday.
Yep.
If you lose tomorrow, it's bye-bye.
All done.
All done. We don't want to do that. And also, I didn't mention we have a great camera producer over there. Lisa, last name Lisa? Ornberg. Any relation to Steve Ornberg?
Yep.
Yeah, cousin?
Yep.
Yeah, he was a classmate of mine.
And James Hooper's mom's an Ornberg, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, she married Thor, or one of the Ornbergs over there. One of the brothers.
Not too many of us, the more related.
Yeah, all right, that's good. All right. So we're having a lot of fun down here at the Revive Commons, and I'll tell you, they've got this little red truck. You got to come down here and get a cup of coffee, and they've got, of course, they've got cinnamon buns, and they've got some pastries, and it's a great place to bring if you like got little kids, and you can just. You can just show them around, hold their hand, and it's perfect day. And I'm gonna,
Great weather.
yeah,
Up a little bit yesterday.
Yeah.
Chill.
come on down and get one of these Revive cups of coffee, man. I'm telling you, it's the best coffee I've had in a long, long time. Come on down, and it's right on the Ashway Road. And I'm looking right at the Spicer gas sign right now. So it's basically across the street from the Spicer. And, Brent, anything you want to put in about this coffee, and then this is your first day, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, it's our grand opening. My wife and I had a coffee shop down in Musquamac here about 20 years ago or so, and we don't have enough to do, so we were like, hey, let's buy that. We saw that the van was for sale, so we're like, all right, let's buy the van and let's bring the coffee shop back, and all the girls can help us, and they're all old enough now, so. But no, we're planning on being here. It's going to be a seasonal business. We're going to be here. We're going to be open weekends, and we'll open up in the summer. The only thing I told her, I go, you got to just cover my workouts. When I got basketball workouts, you're getting up early to open the van.
Oh,
so the other mornings, I said, I'll be up. I don't care.
Did she agree to that? She agreed.
Yeah,
to
oh,
that.
yeah.
That's in writing, right, Lisa? Okay, Lisa. Lisa's over there in the red truck, and boy, I'll tell you, this is very. They got little kids here, and they're very, 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 very family oriented.
Yeah, and it's
like family oriented.
It's a very nice, and we opened a few times on random weekends, and I'm never really. Grew up in Westerly, but the community here really likes it. Like, they really love the fact that they could come over here and, listen, you're paying a lot of money for a cup of coffee anyway. So no offense to a Dunkin' Donuts or anything like that, but like, people are like, I'd rather get good coffee that is not from a, basically a fast food place. So if some people like, I'll pay and I'll go out of I'll pay money and I'll go out of my way for good coffee. So
me too.
We have it. So looking forward to it
too, because you have Dunkin' over there, but other than the commercial places, this is the only one.
This little spot right here I think could be a little hot spot too. They're opening up the restaurant. Somebody's leasing the restaurant, and they're gonna make a market there. That's the old. We kept saying Brick Alley Pub. It was the Brick Oven, I think.
Brick Oven. I said brick. I said Brick
right.
Alley.
But so they had opened up that restaurant. It was closed for a little while, but someone's gonna put a market there. They're doing ice cream. There's ice cream cones over there, like big wooden ice cream cones. So you're gonna have an ice cream spot over there. I think there's a bar and grill type setup still in there. So eventually that's going to open up.
Yep.
And this plaza right here, the only reason I knew of the place is because it's got a baseball card shop in here. No, I don't. But
that's great.
I like to go in there, and I would go in there every once in a while. So I got to know Bill, who's the owner of the plaza. That's who him and his wife were running the coffee shop for a little while, and that's how we bought it, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, good luck here, man.
Thank
I'm telling you, this. Wait till I tell my wife about this.
The patio here is nice here. I didn't realize.
I didn't either, Ron. No, this is great, man.
Just come hang out and relax.
Yeah, and well, maybe you'll get some Smithfield people on the way down to Similari Field.
Stop by. So the thing with Smithfield, there is a Westerly connection. So the assistant principal, John Cannell, his brother is the head coach of Smithfield, and his father is one of the assistants.
Oh my God!
And I've actually known them too for a while, because when I was a middle school coach, John Cannell and his father were actually the Monsignor Clark middle school baseball coaches. So I met him about 15 years ago now, and his dad's a great guy. He's an older guy. I think he coached Smithfield a long time ago. He doesn't seem like he changed at all in 15 years. But it's good to see coach against guys I know, and I haven't seen him in a while. So there was a little Westerly connection there. I think they grew up in Smithfield, obviously, area, and then John moved to this area. He got married, and he's a great assistant principal. I liked him at the middle school.
My grandkids. My grandkids.
He was good at both places.
Play sports.
Still good.
He was.
Yeah.
My grandkids were playing their sports up in Smithfield until last May, and now they're in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. My grandson is taking up football, and he's like a whiz now. All of a sudden, he's got this speed, breakaway speed. I said, "Where the heck did you get this speed, Carson?" He's like, "Going to be 7 in another couple of weeks." And they send me the videos. We're going out there we're going to be going, like I told you, June 4th to the 10th. And I just want to thank Brent again for having us. This is a real treasure, a real honor to be here. And I also want to let all the folks out there that are tuning in at this time, 321 Media, not 321 Media, 321 Media. Okay, come on down, cup of coffee, or whatever, iced coffee. Right, Brent?
Yep, we got it all.
Got it all. All pastries.
Over there, cold
and
brew.
yeah, and on June 21st, the Ron and Sal Sports Report is going to host the 1960 Stonington High School state champion baseball team. And believe it or not, there's only 5 of them left, maybe 6. And I called them all yesterday. So, and if you know George Krause, the tennis coach,
oh yeah,
he's one of them.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And he's still. When I tried to get a hold of him, he was out. He was out. They were in some kind of a tournament yesterday. I don't know how the heck he does it, but anyway, that group would consist of Mike Crowley, David Erskine, the former chief, George Rathbun. The shortstop, oh my gosh, geez, I can't remember. Now I got it in my pocket. I'll when we go to break or whatever, I'll remember it. He's a heck of a good shortstop, and that's basically there's 5 of them. There's about 5 of them left, and then Andy Fabricant was like a third stringer, but he played, and his claim to fame was his dad, Moose Fabricant, was the coach who also coached basketball back in the day. But anyway, they're going to be. We don't know where we're going to be. I can tell you, I asked Ben yesterday. Yeah. He says there's some things.
Could be at Rios, could be at the studio, right?
It could be, or yeah, I'll fill you in after. Do you want to take a break now, Lisa? Or?
Up to you, Sal.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter to me. I can just keep talking, and I know Ron likes to talk, so we'll keep going. All right, Lisa over there, and look at this place. It's not the hop now. So Ron, and pretty soon you're going to be into football, and then Brent is already into basketball. You're pretty much already into football. I'm walking behind the dugout, I was walking behind the dugout in the Stonington game, and this kid, I want to call him a kid. He's about as tall as the awning there, and it was Landon Husero.
Oh yeah, yep.
I said you've been practicing. Big. Yeah, he's got to be about 6'2", 6'3" now.
Yeah,
you know?
He's getting there. I think he's 6'2". Hopefully, he keep growing. He could be 6'3" by now.
Yeah, he probably is.
I think he is. I mean,
he's getting there.
He did well when he played basketball for us. He did well. I mean, it's funny because he is very quiet, and I know that at the quarterback position, you have to be vocal because you have to be. You're the one calling the cadence and stuff. But
especially in Ronnie's offense.
Yeah. But no, he did really well basketball-wise. He was a really good rebounder. And, I'm hoping he's one of those guys that sees the value of being a multi-sport athlete because I know how good he is in football. And, I know that that's his main focus, which I'm happy about. But I hope a handful of your guys continue to play some basketball.
Well, Caleb Williams, we're talking about him at the beginning of the show.
I think that's the great thing about all the coaches at Westerly is 2 things. It made me, when you were talking about that team.
Yes.
The thing about like a guy like Ronnie, myself, and guys like Ange, and guys like Mike Reyes, and guys like and some of the ladies like Laura Oth and things like that. Like I feel like we're like that generation. We want to keep all these traditions going When you talk about some of these historic teams, like hopefully that's going to be us down the line talking about some of these historic teams and, hey, this kid was a hell of an athlete and all that stuff. But that's one good thing that we have at Westerly is like everyone's willing to work together and support each other. Ronnie's at our games, working the games for crowds. I really enjoy going to every football game. I said it to Lisa, I love 3-2-1 because I get so fired up about football that if it's an away game, I'm hoping that we're there, 3-2-1. I hope we're there to broadcast it.
I would say 99% of the time.
I remember one time, like, you guys played, I think, Shea a couple years back, and I was like, I really don't feel like taking a ride to Pawtucket. Started to get cold. It was like in November, and I'm like, we had gotten pizzas. I had 3-2-1 on the big screen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, we had a blast. Like, we're just watching the game. So I just think there's this venue with 3-2-1 getting our athletes all the right coverage, and then having the staff that we have at Westerly like that supports each other and are really all about the kids doing it the right way. It's just we're real lucky in that regard.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, Brent. This has been a younger person's venue to stream. So we've got to get the word out and how to reach. How do we get? Like, for instance, the 5 guys from the Stonington Championship football team.
Yeah.
Every one of them asked me, "How do we get you? How do we, how do we get you?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we've got to indoctrinate them on how to do it.
These little bad boys right here,
right there,
which is the positive and negative of the society nowadays.
So
exactly.
it might take you showing them how to do it for a second because. My mom, when she can't make to the away games or especially for the NFA game when we played at Dodge Stadium, she was going to go, but they didn't, but it was broadcasted.
Yeah, it was.
At first, she always keeps saying like the radio, or when you like, how do I get the radio show in the morning? Thinking it's just
it's just going to push a button.
You know what I mean? You gotta. It's on YouTube and Facebook, pretty much of the two. Just search 3-2-1 media, and it'll show up, especially. During the live events, but on YouTube, you just search 3-2-1 media and everything will show up.
I think what you got to tell them is, tell your son, grandson, daughter, granddaughter, get on my television, figure out how to put the YouTube app on your TV. Because you can't buy a TV that's not a smart TV anymore.
Yeah. Right.
Everything's flat screen. Everything is a smart TV. And if you're able to put those on, then you're in pretty good shape. And then you have a web browser that's typically on there.
Right.
Like I bought a flat screen TV for the locker room because I was like, what kind of like the little culture that we created is like we kind of made the locker room kind of like a homey kind of place where it's like our kind of hangout. And the locker room is the locker room. So I got a flat screen. We put NFHS on. I have the YouTube app. We can watch 3-2-1. So when we scout and watch games together as a team, we shut the lights off. We put the TV on in the locker room. So it's just a matter of like I think the younger generation's gotta school the older generation on how to catch up with the technology.
Yeah,
and that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, because for the game at Dodd, my sister showed my mom there how to for YouTube like on the actual TV and not just on her phone, so she could she figured it out and she's watching like a regular game on the TV. So they can understand that. It's not just on your phone; it's on the TV too. As long as the YouTube app's there.
Sorry, as long as it's here, you can also it also transfers over to the TV. I mean, it took me a while. Listen, I picked up on this a while back out of desperation when I couldn't get the Giant games. So I got so desperate. I figured out a way to get my laptop in the USB cord plugged into the back of the TV. So it wasn't perfect because sometimes there'd be blackouts, but that was like maybe 10 years ago. But you can do it. If I can do it, I'm a lunkhead, you know, like most of the people my age. We can do it. So we got to get them to feel comfortable watching Brent's teams in basketball, Ronnie's teams in baseball and football, and also the lacrosse gets broadcast, the soccer gets broadcast, volleyball gets broadcast. Whole your imagination is runs wild to what you can get on the streaming of these games, and it's a lot of fun. Like you said, you got the pizzas out, you had the TV on.
Yeah,
it's just like a regular watching like an NFL game. I got good friend Paul Raymond. You know, he'll watch a lot of the football games, especially the away ones, especially even before Tyler played his senior year. You know, it'd be like a fun thing for him watching in his basement, have a few drinks, and you know what I mean, he can relax. And you know, obviously, if it's nice weather, we like as many people at the games as possible. But we understand everyone can't make it all the time. And you know, Thanksgiving with the rain, that was the worst weather I've ever. And there's been a lot of rainy Thanksgiving Day games.
Yeah, that's the worst.
That was the most.
That was the worst
I've ever played in, and yeah. The 3-2-1 being able to broadcast that, you know, it was probably definitely the smallest crowd I've ever seen. But with 3-2-1, their views were through the roof.
Right, you probably had more people watch that game than any game.
That'd be the most viewed one ever.
The most viewed game for the least amount of people on the field. So
believe it or not,
thousands.
There was two of us old timers that actually stayed till the half. Coach Moreno and Sal Moreno, and finally Coach Moreno said, "I got to get out of here." And I said, "Jim, I'm right behind you." It was halftime. I said,
and the game was tight too. Luckily, we came through.
Yeah, it came through.
But yeah, the best is when it's a nice weather for Thanksgiving Day game. You get the most people there. You know, the tradition is so great. There's so many older people in town and that are in the area, you know, visiting family, that it's always been a tradition to go to the games. And if it's really bad weather like that, unfortunately, it's going to make people stay home. So, and it does definitely had a little bit of different feel with that weather like that. It's a lot of you know, distractions, and you know, it's just a mess. Hopefully this year coming up at home, it's going to be nice and warm.
Let's pray, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think of it like this too. Like I watch your games and I listen on 3-2-1 because I mean, you know, because it's you guys, and also we got you know, Elaine, my daughter, and dates Zach Minor, so I always check and see how Zach's doing.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, you know, like I'd be like listening to it in my car because I hook my phone's onto the Bluetooth. I get home and I'm listening to the game, and at least my wife would be like, "We listen to? I'm gonna listen to the game." So she says, "Oh, I got it on Game Changer right now." You know, like, so like, it's
my God!
It's like when we get home, it's like this is our life. Like, all right, who's on Game Changer? Who's listening to 3-2-1? But you know, what game is on right now? You know, whether it's middle school, which I got to plug I'm one of the coaches on the middle school.
Go.
We're in we won a playoff game yesterday.
12-0, right?
We made the finally, 12-0. I think we played our best game. It was a pretty good pitcher too on that team, but they didn't have it. What we had.
Who'd you play?
We played Riverside.
That's in East Providence, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Our girls
can't get rid of them.
I see your baseball team. I see football. I see basketball. I think, there's great coaches. You know who gets all the credit, I think, to really, girls basketball is so successful.
Yeah.
Right? The parents. Because to run these travel programs, you have to have great parents. Most of the time, the parents are the coaches. Actually, 99% of the time, they're the coaches. We have, they know what it takes to be involved. So that means you're driving to New Jersey. That means you're, volleyball. We're going to Boston, playing in tournaments. A lot of the success that you're seeing right now is just the parents that are dedicated, getting their kids to football practice, getting their kids to travel ball, getting their kids to off-season training,
and more
going
than
to
one
batting
kid.
cages. Right.
That's the thing. More than one kid, 2 or 3 kids in a family. You know, that's unbelievable, Brent.
Our schedule. Everybody said, "Oh, you got girls. You must be going crazy." We do more sports at my house than, I mean, Elena played sports, played softball, played volleyball. Gemma right now played basketball up until middle school, and then playing volleyball and softball right now. I'm the travel softball coach, which I am looking to retire from that at some point because I just have
funny.
I have a lot on my
right.
plate, and we just so it's nonstop, and Ronnie can tell you this because he does 2 sports. There's no such thing as off season.
No.
You know,
yeah,
because
you're right.
when we're in the off season, we're either coaching another sport, we're planning for our season, we're training for the season. And like football, January 1st, these guys are and some of the guys are even doing more. Listen, they're in the gym lifting.
Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now. The guys that we had in our classes, we would have died. We would have killed to be playing stuff all the time. We just didn't have the means to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just give me more football. Give me more basketball.
Yeah,
give me more
The difference is yours in your society back your generation. You guys did it on your own. I'm a phys ed teacher, 21 years.
We talked a little about this last week.
Yeah.
You know the hardest lesson that I do? If I bring a wiffle ball bat and a ball, and we put 4 bases outside and say, hey, let's play wiffle ball. My students do not know what I am talking about. They don't understand the rules of baseball. They don't know no one just plays a game anymore. I'm better off doing spider ball or pool noodle tag because I could explain them the rules and they understand it than I am to do a game like volleyball. They'll hit it 7 times on one side. I'm like, you only allowed 3 hits. Why? What do you mean why?
Even I know that.
What do you mean why? It's just the rules.
Yeah.
There are sometimes some things that are just, but like they don't understand like every single time somebody hits a line drive and somebody catches it, they're off first base. I go, you're out. Why? You didn't tag up. What's tagging up mean? I mean, even I could say, I'm going to turn 50 at the end of the year. I mean, we played neighborhood games all the time.
Yeah.
Like I knew as a 12-year-old kid that if I get off first base on a fly ball, I'm out.
Right.
It's just the generation. They just don't go out and play. And again, this is great for 3-2-1. But this and the tablets and the video games and we're working against a lot of obstacles.
Well, last week we were talking about how there's so much more structured training with batting cages and we said, well, we didn't have any structured thing with Coach Reed in the off season or anything, but we would play home run derby all the time. We play rundown, which was a great beach day game, and we would play, football, kill a man with a ball. I had a league at my house in 8th and 9th grade, was 4-on-4. So we definitely got our training in, but it was more, unstructured, just playing around. But you're still getting the hand-eye coordination with home run derby. You're playing wiffle ball, using, like we were talking about with my father used to talk about playing stickball all the time with the corks taped up and throw that thing. He's curving all over the place. So that's hitting a little cork and throwing it hard as you can. It's not like they were just lobbing it in there. Definitely, a way of training how it used to be. And now it's just everything's so structured and the rules are kind of not really taught to the kids when they're younger. So I'll be subbing in gym class sometimes too. They're playing softball and they don't even know the rules at high school level.
No.
Just for the folks out there who don't get the Westerly Sun, there's a small article in there that about the Division I tourney starts today. Westerly is the number 9 seed in Division I, and will travel to number 8 seed East Providence today at 2 p.m.
Yeah,
we got East Providence.
They beat them head-to-head earlier, so Wesley going into that should be pretty confident, even though they're on the road. But they, I think, pretty almost positive they did beat East Providence earlier in the season. I think my sister had it. That was a home run or 2 home run game.
You know what's crazy is and you guys have been around for a while. Like I've never seen a team hit so many home runs
Yeah, me either.
Like these girls are hitting them.
Oh, I know.
When you hear home run, like sometimes you think, oh, like it's a home run. Like they legged it out.
Yeah.
No.
like a Charaho.
Addison Poole's hitting balls 250 feet.
Right.
And those
Bella Mazzarese is hitting the ball over the fence.
Yeah, I know.
in college field.
I don't know if I've seen a much better hitter than Ella Keegan play.
Yeah.
You know, at that level. You know, in Westerly for a long time.
In Westerly softball field, you know, originally it was made for, you know, women's league, and so it's actually bigger
than most
college fields. You know, Division I college fields, any college field is the same size as a Little League field, about 200 feet, where, you know, Westerly's is around 220 with a big fence. So if you're hitting it out of there, it's going out everywhere.
Yeah, there's some varsity fences that I've seen. I don't know if you notice it in baseball too, but like, you know, you go to Exeter West Greenwich, like it's like
they have a small one there?
180 to left center.
Yeah.
So like if you just get under one, you're gonna hit, and then their backfield is just like a hill and woods. So if you put it in the woods, basically it's a home run. I don't know what they're gonna call it. One of our girls almost put one over there. What's her name? And then the LaSalle too, where Allison Miranda just showed up.
Yeah.
She hit one out when she was in 8th grade at LaSalle at their softball field that they just built. They have
she goes to
it's kind of a
LaSalle?
short porch.
Here, but-
No, she played for us and hit one out there. It's a short porch, but it's a high fence.
Yeah.
And she lofted a fly ball. It just kept carrying and boop, you know, home run.
That was where, you know, the other day against Stonington, where, you know, Similories Field, it's pretty big. Center is really big. It's 375 for baseball. The lines are.
Is it 375? I thought it was 350.
And left is 330, which is still pretty big. And the Stonington pitcher there, you know, hitting Ogden at bat, he had two balls that, if we were at Stonington, they were home runs.
Yeah.
Our left fielder tracked him down, and Tyler Falcon made some great catches on Ogden's deep fly balls. One was at the fence earlier in the game, and the second one was all the way down the line toward the fence. I thought it was a run for sure.
Yeah.
And he tracked it down and caught it. So, you know, field size definitely, you know, controls the game as well. And, you know, that's the beauty about, you know, baseball, softball. You know, it's not one regulation size like football, you know, basketball. Actually, some of your courts who you play with, I'm sure it's small. So, not always regulation in basketball either.
Right.
But,
Tolman's ridiculous.
But yeah, so.
So anyway, if you don't have anything to do, or if you do have something, but just plan on being up to Cimbalori Field, the girls softball team is.
They're away.
They're away.
Yeah, they're away.
Yeah, that's right. I got it mixed up.
Complex there, all turf.
I got it mixed up.
Fields
They're actually at East Providence, correct? Today at 2:00.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you, they do have Game Changer. So if you download the Game Changer app, you can kind of follow along, you know, kind of virtually there. It's not a video of the game. Actually, I think softball might actually take some videos for their Game Changer. We don't for baseball, but
yeah,
we're doing it in the dugout. We have like players doing it, or I'm doing it. So we don't do videos, but we do it for the you know, people watching, and also the way it keeps track of stats is amazing too. Game Changer, whoever invented that probably making a lot of money. So
yeah, and they're actually trying to get into basketball too.
I saw that they have basketball.
Like in our coaches association meeting, they wanted us to all try to take it on.
A lot more action than that.
But
basketball.
my thing was, why would we do something like that when you have schools that take their NFHS feeds down?
Oh, they do on purpose.
Yeah. But that'll be another conversation for another day.
Yeah.
I was already on my group chat telling somebody else I don't like other schools, but you know, I just get wound up.
Anything that takes away from promoting the players or having people see your players, I don't like it. I don't like anything. Like I don't care if people see our baseball stats. You know, you want to see. I know Zach finally gave up a sac fly. Actually, it wasn't him pitching; it was his runner. So he gave up his first run in 2 seasons. But looking at the stats, like I don't care if I want people to know he has given up runs. I want people to know, you know, Tom Fiore's hitting 305. I want Simmons. I want people to know Simmons threw 5 guys out this week running. So you know, taking down videos or, you know, trying to, you know, do things strategically so you get a.
I'm sure if off camera we talked about who does it for baseball and football, and I'm sure that's the same culprits on for basketball.
A couple years ago, I told you about the story. I don't even care if I said it on camera.
I know.
Their game versus Griswold was on YouTube, so we saw the game ahead of time, and the film they sent us didn't have a huge trick play that they scored against Griswold. I knew.
Talking about Stonington?
Yeah, so I knew that they did it on purpose. What's the odds that one play wasn't there? And they actually ran that play the very first game of the Thanksgiving. We were ready for it. They didn't. It was an incomplete pass. But we were ready for that trick play because we saw it on YouTube. Where if we
Isn't that
see it on
something,
YouTube,
huh?
We would not have been ready for it.
Right.
See, people don't realize we've got a real brain trust with the Wesley High School Bulldog football team, which
The backdoor stuff with the coaches, like.
yeah, that's what talk about that. Talk
it's
about
really,
that.
So like, there's coaches that I can call. I'm sure you can too. That like, you have on your phone that it's like, hey, have you seen this team play yet? No, but hold on, I'll get video on them. Like, hey, they took their video down. Don't worry, I got a backdoor channel to it. You know what I mean? Like there's some crazy conversations, and then like, you have to kind of like create your group. So like, I get into like a Division II coaches group of guys that share scorebooks. Because, we say, hey, let's put, Coaches Association, let's put our scorebooks on Twitter or X, whatever we call it nowadays, right? And it was like a common thing.
Yeah,
and then like,
son do that, right, Grenia?
yeah. But then you look and then you're seeing that like, oh, well, not everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
So
Same thing for baseball. Like,
right.
He tried starting it, and he's got the Twitter page, and anybody who sends him the box score,
They post it.
But I could tell, like, some teams don't send in, and there was a couple of games where I sent it in, where he didn't post it. I'm thinking to myself, did this other team tell them not to post anything of their stuff? Because why wouldn't he post it? And so I actually think there's a couple teams who told him don't post any of our stuff because there's no reason, because he posts as much as he can, and there's definitely people that tell him don't post.
Right.
What are you going to get from a box
right.
score?
Hey, and how about game? Right. So now Game Changer, baseball, softball.
I'd never heard of Game Changers till.
So now we're playing Barrington, right, for middle school. Coach Jeremy Emard gets 3 family requests from people from Barrington to try to be on our Game Changer so they can see our stats. They want to see our video. Denied.
Unbelievable.
By the way, please get Game Changer for basketball.
Oh God, who's gonna do
Be
it?
able to,
Because it helps me so much with baseball and softball. It's insane. I just want to say, this is an amazing place that you have here, Brent.
Thank you.
It is
It
amazing.
really is awesome.
I like it.
And it's the best coffee in the world, right here.
I'm gonna go.
Sal's on the payroll.
This is beautiful. This is my favorite episode, I think, of this show that we've done so far. So I love it. I love what you guys have done with the place, Brent. And but I do have one. I do have one question for you guys, but specifically to the 2 coaches here.
Charo.
actually had.
Coach Samaggio just gave me one of these.
I'm going to have to give you one.
We got to give you a bulldog one.
Who's listening to this show, by the way? Who's listening to this right now? Or do you have this on your phone?
I can.
No. Not. Do you have it on your phone? Someone is listening to this and it's loud.
Oh,
Not me.
not me.
Oh, it's over there.
Could be over there.
Maybe.
Oh, I think maybe Lisa put it on. Did she put it on the screen? Or on the? Oh, did she put it on the Bluetooth? Maybe.
I don't know. Oh, you know what? That might be it.
Maybe.
Anyway, I just want to say I love all of you. It's fantastic. This is great. And I just got this hat over at Toscano's. Every time I go to Toscano's, I get a new hat. Today I have a Chargers hat. And I'm just saying, guys, like, I'll pay for it. But just like,
No, I'll get you one.
We'll get you a hat,
like,
Ben.
come on, guys.
Listen.
It's been years.
I know
now.
Jamie's secret stash.
It's been,
We'll
it's
get
been,
you one.
it's been years now.
We know so many people over at Jarrett Hall. When they're not playing Westerly, I do cheer for them. I'm being honest.
Of course you do.
And I'm integrated into the Ashway
Yeah,
community.
you're in
All right.
Charahoe.
I'm in Charahoe territory.
Charahoe territory.
But I'm always gonna wear this hat, people. So I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, Coach, this has got to make you a little angry.
A little bit. We beat him twice, though, so it's
Just a
all
little
right.
angry. All right, tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll have it tomorrow. Oh, that
no.
playoff
Are you
game?
guys there tomorrow?
I'll take.
Where?
At home?
Oh, yeah, we're home at
1 o'clock.
Home at 1 o'clock tomorrow.
1 o'clock.
All right, cool. I just found out about that. We'll do our best to
Yeah,
cover it.
all
We'll be
right.
there.
Against Smithfield.
Yeah.
And that should be an exciting game because Smithfield won. I thought you probably should have won that game, but it went into extra innings and you lost 2. What was the final?
2-0.
2-0, right? And you had shots there to win, and I think you're going to do. I think let's Let's get up to the Similari Field tomorrow, and then go to your cookouts later on.
We'll have Zach this time, and I think it's going to be the difference. So,
Yep.
it'll be fine. We'll have to be able to close it out, get a lead early.
Is Zach Miner? Is Zach? How big of a guy is he? It's hard to tell with the guys. If
About 6 feet, definitely.
about 6 feet.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
165, 170,
Wow.
maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
he's had a great career the last couple of years. I mean, playing second base and solid hitter in the batting the 2-hole for us. I think he was in the either third or fourth last year, so he was always in the the top 4 in the order. And pitching wise, if we have a lead or it's tied, we have so much confidence putting him in there. And if our starting pitcher, once they're getting up in the pitch count, there's really no need for to extend them and to keep pitching our starter when there's going to be a drop off. Getting tired after 85, 90 pitches, we have no problem putting Zach right in there. And a lot of teams don't have the luxury of having a quality relief guy that's not a starter, and they have to the starters have to go as long as possible. And being able to, like in the Stonington game, if we had to, Tom could easily have gone out for the 7th inning, but you got Zach who's fresh.
Exactly.
We'll go with him, and I always have to tell Tom, we got Zach to go in there. He's one of the better closers in the state. He's going to be fresh, because I know Tom wants to go the complete game every game if he's doing well. So I always got to explain to him our strategy.
And he pitched well against Stonington.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Stonington,
Great job.
I mean, even though they're kind of like a Division II/3 Division II.
Dennis Scholastically ranked them as Division I, so we got Division I points.
There you go. There you go.
They're having a great season. They are. Because of their enrollment.
That was my
they're
point.
Definitely a Division II team. So another Division I team must have put in the paperwork for them to be Division I, and the league said okay. It worked out though, because they have a great record. They're like 17, 18-4 or something like that. So they had a great season.
Did that win help you guys?
Well, it gave us the home game. Yeah.
Could have been maybe Wesley basketball put him in as a D1 win. I don't know.
I know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was if it changes from season
No, yeah,
to
it
season.
does.
So yeah, I was thinking South Kingston because Lynch is the baseball.
Yeah.
I think they played him.
Yeah. So that those 2 losses to South Kingston must have hurt you guys too.
Yeah, well, and yeah. So if you lose in playing them twice too, we didn't have to play South Kingston at all. To be honest with you, we added both those games.
Right.
So we don't shy away. We knew they were going to be one of the best public schools in the state, and they are. They're third, I think, seeding, or third or fourth, and. They're close to us, and we didn't shy away from playing them, and it would have been great points to beat them. But the losses to good teams, Division I, it doesn't hurt you that much, especially if you play. We play the 21 games, so the average per game, it won't hurt you as much per loss. Like some teams played the minimum, which would have been 18. So a win or a loss, if you're only playing 18, is worth more. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because your total RPI points are divided by how many games you played. So by playing those extra games and playing 21, the losses to Hendricken and South Kingston, they didn't really hurt us that much. But obviously, if we beat them, it would have been a lot better. But it didn't really hurt us that bad, because you still get a fraction of points for their wins. How many wins they have?
It's unbelievable the way that you're down to fractions of points, and it's incredible. Like you said, that
East Providence is pretty crazy how that works.
Yeah, and that's unbelievable.
They were exactly tied going into yesterday, the tiebreakers head-to-head, which would have gave East Providence the 5 seed. But because Hendricken beat Pilgrim, that caused North Kingston to bump up 1,000th of a point, because North Kingston beat Hendricken and East Providence did not.
Wow.
So Hendricken winning one more game gave East
Just
Providence
go long.
the 5 seed. So
Yeah.
And I know East Providence coach is not happy, because I've said in the previous show, Jordan Husero kind of helped us with making that program. It's like our own little RPI kind of spreadsheet, so we can plug in games of future games to see how the RPI is going to shake out. So I went through all the games yesterday and put the winners in before it happened to see what would happen, and then I switched them around. Okay, what happens if this team beats this team? What happens if Pilgrim happened to beat Hendricken?
So you had it all down
So
pat.
we figured it out.
Yeah.
What I felt bad for the East Providence coaches, because 2 games got totally canceled, which I wasn't factoring in.
Right.
So if all those games played, there was no chance they would have dropped. So by 2 games getting totally canceled and not made up, I didn't put that into the program because how do you know these games are going to get canceled?
Right.
Like, totally. So I felt bad because I told him I'm going, because he asked me. I'm like, I'm going through all these scenarios and I don't have one where North Kingston ends ahead of you. But those 2 cancellations, I felt bad after because I'm like, yeah, those 2 cancellations really messed up the RPI. And I told you like you're not going to drop, but those 2 games getting canceled changed the RPI and 1,000th of a point. But yeah, it doesn't matter. They win today. It's all good. But I know he didn't want to face Moses Brown's starting pitcher because he throws about 90. So, but they did beat him 1-0 last week. So
you faced a good Stonington pitcher around.
Very good. Yeah, he's going to George Washington.
88 miles an hour is not too bad.
And we were, we planned, and we knew we were going to face him. Bob had him on 8 days rest. They had another, so it was just like the Charahoe game with Carpenter. They could have pitched him in a pivotal D2 game, but instead they saved him for us. Same thing with Stonington. They played Woodstock, who I think was the Class M state champion the year before, and they saved him for us. So they actually lost that game on Tuesday. And then they saved him for us, and we had that pitching machine jacked up pregame in the Babcock for our batting practice. We had it pumping in there, and on a 4-game losing streak, we knew we had to have this game. We had to get some confidence going into the playoffs, and we played almost a perfect game there. Making contact, 6 hits off of him, and scoring late, and kind of driving his pitch count up. We did a great job, and. It's good to see us making contact and having some real solid hits off of a quality pitcher. Because Kevin Saglio, a freshman, he had a great line drive. Probably went about 100 miles an hour off the bat, and he's only a freshman. Can't wait to see what he does for us.
Yeah, that's.
Luke Gwaltney started to hit again. We need him going, because he was in a little bit of a slump. Tom had a great hit. Zach had a couple hits, so it's good seeing these guys come around and getting hot for the playoffs.
Yeah, that's really something. That was great. The way that the ball was coming off of the bats against Stonington, especially in the later innings. It was just boom, boom, and I was like, whoo. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
And that's we're not going to see too many pitchers. Better than him. You got the Anaselli kid from North Providence that doesn't throw as hard, but he throws strikes and he's got great off-speed stuff. All these Division I teams have at least one guy. But Ogden's right up there with the pitching.
Right.
Division I. So, hats off to him. I can tell he works hard in the offseason too. He's got huge legs, arms. He's a great pitcher, and good luck to him at George Washington.
George Washington, yeah.
They got the playoffs coming up too. They first have the ECC tournament, and then they go right into the state playoffs.
Yeah,
So
I don't know whether. I guess that's part of tradition, doing those ECC games. But I mean, it's like
you have Connecticut, so Connecticut's a lot bigger than Rhode Island. So, but Rhode Island, the divisions are the conferences, so it doesn't really make sense to have.
You got like a double
tournament
for now.
But in Connecticut, there's so many teams that it is worth doing a conference championship.
They do it in basketball. They do it.
There's talk of trying to do it for basketball.
Yeah. And if all sports.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind it anyway because that's kind of used to what it used to be.
Yeah.
I remember in baseball and my when I was playing, it was Division II South. It was B South back then. And it was all the local teams but now they're talking about it would be a mix, just like in Connecticut, because you have the ECC. You got like say NFA, who's a double L school. You got Stonington, who's an S. Killingly's an M, but they all could be in the same conference. Like we could be in the same baseball conference with Narragansett, who's Division II. We could be with Exeter, who's Division II, who used to be 3. So it doesn't matter. Your conference doesn't matter what division you're in, but then the playoffs would be separated. The state playoffs would be separated by division, which I don't mind anyway because it'd be location. Hopefully, if it's location, I don't mind.
Yeah, no, I think I made 4 divisions. I have it on my Google Drive, and I sent it to Jamie. I go, here are the divisions right here for basketball. Yeah. I went right up the line on Route 1, right through the islands.
Yeah.
I even grabbed Block Island and put them, and I'm like, this could be it. And then you just have to, you can't do it exactly like Connecticut. You'd have to kind of like maybe let's say like Block Island could be in the Southern Division, and so like for instance, maybe like let's draw the line at East Greenwich, and then all right, so you got like a 13-team Southern Division, but maybe not everyone is playing each other because
try not to have the Division 3 teams playing.
Right, like a Prout, Exeter West Greenwich, Charahoe, Narragansett. You know what I mean? Like you can finagle it somehow.
Because right now with football, it might be probably basketball too. So in baseball and football, when the leagues, so we have the league schedule 50% or 40, whatever. I know you can choose either 50 or 80% of your schedule generated by the league. Because LaSalle and Hendricken are two top teams, the league, when they generate the schedule, only puts you against one of them. So that's why for baseball, if we wanted to go and add the game, we could have added the other team. But that's why we played Hendricken this year and not LaSalle.
Not LaSalle. Oh, okay. I was wondering how that.
They could do something similar. So if you have Block Island or some of those other Division 3 teams, they would do something similar. I'm not going to put this Division 3 team against all the Division 1 teams. But they're going to have to play like 2 of them. They can make it even and do things like that.
I really enjoyed this conversation, but what you're talking about. But I really enjoyed back in the days when it was all done by location.
Mm-hmm.
You took the cutoff line was just below Warwick, so you had North Kingston. Now you could North Kingston, South Kingston, East Greenwich, Narragansett, Prout. Keep going.
Charahoe,
and you could do it to a certain extent, but in some sports and in some
like in football, Charahoe, Exeter, all Division 4. But they would be in our division.
Right.
And
so
you have to kind of only.
Right.
You have to juggle. You would have to juggle. That's what they did in the ECC.
They do, because it's ECC Division 1, 2, and 3.
And like in the girls' sports too, like there'd be some basketball matchups that would just be 40, 50, 60-point wins.
Yeah.
If you just did regional, you know what I mean? Same thing for softball. Listen, there are some softball teams that are in the RIIL, the high school teams, that our middle school team can compete with right now. I'm not going to mention names. I don't want to insult anybody.
No,
and I don't know who's listening, but
it's a pretty bad baseball division. Yeah, baseball, that's really bad.
Like we were playing a game at a location, and there was a high school game going on. I go, we probably would get more out of going over there and playing one of those teams.
Yeah.
Just say so to match up the regional stuff, it's going to have to be really tricky. Hopefully, people would be. The frustrating thing is the RIIL has bounced around and done different things, and we've never really stayed on anything. I like the RPI, but like Ronnie could also attest to that, there are some coaches that hate it.
Yeah, I've heard grumblings.
So if you're able to play an even schedule, like say there's 8 teams, like say so baseball for Division 1, there's 16 teams. Like say you played everybody once, so that's 15 games, and then you could play like whoever you want for the extra 5 or 6. If you play everybody and everybody plays everybody once and it's an even schedule, then teams are like, why? What do we need RPI for? If we just play everybody once, it's an even.
Yeah,
schedule.
that's my buddy Ken Collins feels that way.
Because Rhode Island's smaller, and that's the argument. Well, if you can play everybody in your division, then why? We're just about done.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Everybody, then that's why.
It's your show.
No. We're wrapping this up right now. But before we wrap it up, I want to say thank you again to Brent and Lisa Fazzaro and their children and their families. And this is a great way to kick off the summer season right here at Route 3 in Ashaway, right across the street from the Spicer sign. You'll see it, and it's going to be a fun thing to do. It's going to be open on weekends, right?
Weekends until school ends, and then we'll be open every day in the summer. And we'll love to have you guys back. If you don't have a spot, you guys can come here and broadcast anytime.
Anytime. I don't know what we're going to be next week, but Ben will tell us. We could be at Rio's Barbershop. I'm not sure what's going on, but we're definitely going to make our way back here. This is fun. This is great. I love it. It's relaxing, and we got a great camera lady over there doing a great job, Lisa Ornberg. All right, Lisa, good job. So we're going to turn this over to you, Lisa, and you play that little ditty that you play, and we're going to say thank you to the Fazzaros again. Thank you to my partner Ron. Thank you to Brent Fazzaro. He was a great radio and TV presence. Love it. And take it away. We're off the air.
Thank you.
Experience local excellence with Roofright Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, Roofright specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, Roofright is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Dunn's Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.
D&V Mechanical specializes in the installation, maintenance, and servicing of Mitsubishi Ductless mini split heat pump systems. We are certified by Mitsubishi as Diamond Elite contractors and factory trained and up to date on the proper procedure of the installation and service of Mitsubishi Ductless heating and air conditioning ductless heat pumps. We assist with the paperwork to reduce much of the stress-related documentation required to get the state rebates and federal tax incentives. We are not a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-nothing company. We are masters of ductless heat pumps. It's what we do, and it's what we know.